Okay guys, so this is part 2 of the Cora style flower. You can of course use the center with any flower, but I'm just teaching it as part 2 of the Cora style flower. So this is a Swirl Pom-Pom center, and you're going to need to have a 1 to 2 inch foam ball. Craft stores carry those. You need 3 sheets of text weight paper. Text weight is thinner than cardstock, so like around 40 pounds, 35 pound paper, something like that. It's easier to work with for pom-pom centers. You can use regular cardstock if you want. I found my paper at my local craft store, but you can find lots of options online too. So just take a look around for that. There's options out there. You also see me using a pair of fringe scissors. That just makes it a little bit faster to cut the paper, but you can use regular scissors, so you can still make this even if you don't have them. If you want to get them, again, craft stores or online will carry the fringe scissors. Okay, so let's get started then. We're going to start with covering up the small foam ball with some fringed pieces of paper. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. This is just the first one that came to mind for me when I created this. So you'll see me cut an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper in half. Just fold it down the center and cut it in half. And I'm using the text weight paper again here, so it's a little bit lighter than the cardstock, which is heavier. You can use cardstock for this. I just particularly like the lighter paper for the pom-pom center. It just looks nicer in my opinion. You're going to fold the half you just cut in half again and cut that down the middle. Then you're going to grab your fringe scissors if you have them, or just use your regular scissors, either's okay, and just start cutting down the whole piece of paper. Alright, next what you're going to do is you're going to get your regular scissors and you're going to start cutting pieces off of this fringed piece, like 1/2 inch pieces to 1 inch. You'll want to cut at least probably 7 or 8, maybe more. It's going to vary a little bit for everybody, especially depending if you used a 1 inch or a 2 inch foam ball for your center here. So just cut several pieces off. Now you're going to grab your ball, and on the edge that's not fringed, you're going to add a dot of glue, put it about halfway down your ball, and then you're going to add a little bit of glue to the center top of your ball, and you're going to push the fringed piece over the glue. When this is all covered, it's going to sort of look like a tight bud center. So you're going to keep repeating the same thing until the ball is covered. After I made more of these, I ended up just cutting one fringed piece off that was large enough to just wrap once around the ball, and then glued all of the pieces in. So you can do it that way too if you just want to make one continuous piece and then glue it around the foam ball and pull the center in like that, but this is another way to do it as well. It just takes a little more patience, but it's really pretty when it's done. I'm using like a metallic paper here too, so it'll have a nice shine to it once you get it all put together and covered up. So you'll see me here just putting the rest of this on and finishing it up. You're just repeating, adding glue to the non-fringed side first and placing it around the ball and pulling the fringe center to the top center. you're following along with me in making your flower, then it may not bother you, the tediousness of this, but if you're just watching this to watch it, then you may want to fast forward like a minute or so, because I do show the whole process just for those who like to see that. But if it's too slow for your taste, then you can just fast forward a little. If you need more to cover the ball the rest of the way, just continue cutting your piece. I'm going to add a few more pieces here just over the top area to make sure the foam isn't showing. And then we'll move on to creating the swirl pom-pom. Alright, so I'm finishing up with this, and then we're going to move on to the next part of this center. Once you get the hang of this down, I'm going slow for the video purpose, but once you get the hang of this down, it doesn't take that long to make. Alright, now you're going to take your 2 other pieces of paper that you're going to use, and you're going to fold each of those in half and cut down the center just like we did with the first one when we were working with the white paper in my example here. And you're going to fold that in half again. And we're not going to cut these again, we're just going to fold them in half. And then you want to grab your French scissors or your regular scissors and start cutting down the side that is folded, not the opened end, but the side that's folded. Try to make sure your cuts are deep enough. Obviously you don't want to cut through it, but try to make sure you're getting deep enough into it so that you'll have a nice swirl pom-pom in the end. I'm going to speed this up a little bit and jump over to when I finish cutting all my pieces here. Alright, so now I have 3 pieces cut here, which is 1.5 sheets of 8.5 by 11 paper. Everybody can choose their own size. Some people will do 2, some will do 3, some may want 4 pieces altogether. After you've cut them, you want to open them up. You want to flip them inside out, so you want to flip them the other direction. You want to add glue to the center of it, and as we glue the center, we're going to glue it unevenly. So the very outer edges are not going to line up. You want to kind of pull it over to create an uneven edge, and that's going to give us that effect of a swirl once we've rolled it together. That's the key to getting the more swirled look instead of just a more traditional pom-pom. See how I have edges that are uneven on each side. The paper's not directly aligned with each other on each end. And that's what's creating that sort of slanted look. And do the same thing with your next 2 pieces, or if you're doing 3 or 4 more pieces, however many you're doing to make whatever size pom-pom you prefer. Just keep pulling it over to the side just like we did a second ago. Okay, so now we're going to glue each of these pieces around the foam ball. Obviously the top of your foam ball needs to be the finished top of the ball that we just completed at the beginning of this video. Just want to add some glue to one side of one of your pieces for the pom-pom and then just roll it around the ball, adding glue as you go. And once you complete one of your pieces, just start the next piece where the first one ended. And just add some glue there and connect it where the last piece ended, and keep going. Keep rolling the fringe pom-pom piece around the foam ball. You can make pom-poms pretty big. You could do even a couple more beyond what I'm going to do in this tutorial if you want to add a couple more layers to the pom-pom to make it that much bigger. You could always use a bigger foam ball, which would always help make a bigger pom-pom in general as well. So they're a lot of fun doing smaller and larger sizes. I'm on to my third piece now, so I'm just going to again start the third piece where the second one ended on the pom-pom, and I'm going to continue to add glue and to roll it around. Alright, so at this point I'm going to be finished with my pom-pom. Like I said, you can continue it a little bit if you want. You will eventually kind of run out of space to do so. Then I'm just kind of like going to pull it back a little here just to make the white center show off a little bit more. Just gently pull and stretch the pom-pom piece around, get the ball to show up more there. And then you just need to find a flower, and in this case it's going to be the flower we did in part 1 of this video with the framed petal edge technique that I taught you. And you're just going to want to add it to the center of your flower. It's really great when you're using a pom-pom like this with a foam ball in the middle because it makes a really easy place to add the glue to make a good contact with the center. If you're making a regular pom-pom that doesn't have a ball in the center, it can sometimes be a little challenging to get glue on it to connect it to the center of the flower. Just make sure you press firmly for several seconds. You usually got to wait till the glue dries. That's why I like to use hot milk glue, because it dries relatively quickly. When you're done, display your pretty flower. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and you can come by my blog, abbykirstencollections.com. The link is in the description. If you want to download some of our free designs, and there's lots of other designs on there as well that you can check out, lots of other free tutorials. And if you would like to share with me any pictures of your flowers that you make, feel free to tag us at Abbi Kirsten Collections on Instagram. That link is also in the description. Thanks guys!